Gators, man, I love see basketball. It's one of my passions. People love basketball. So we're on a four-game winning streak right now, which is great because we played Tennessee 2 weeks ago and scored 44 points. Um, Basketball is kind of weird. It's basketball is a game of confidence. Like if you get into the flow and you just get that intuition that I feel it, I can play my game. Um, you play with more confidence. That Tennessee game, I don't know what happened. We were at Rocky Top, we were hung over, couldn't make anything. I we just lost all our confidence and ended up losing that game. It looked very similar to the first game that we played them, except it was reversed. But we're scoring 86 points a game on average in the four-game winning streak, which is our season average, and double the points that we scored at that Tennessee game. So it's weird. Um, Ken Palm. Ken Palm is an analytical database started in the late 90s by Ken Pomeroy. It's very famous, used by a lot of the analytical pundits. And basically, he has a lot of tools in there that looks at offensive and defensive efficiency. Long story short, offensive efficiency is how many points per possession you score with your offense. Defensive efficiency is how many points you allow the other team to score when every time they have a possession.
Mm.
And teams that are in the top 10 in both, meaning you have a good offense and you have a good defense, it's kind of like in football. Um, those are the teams that have um, a super high probability of winning the national championship. And that's been well proven, well correlated the last several years. Um, we have a top 10. I was going to do a separate video on this, but we have a top 10, we have a top five offense and a top 10 defense, which is incredible.
That's insane.
And this is adjusted for your strength of schedule. So Auburn is going to be really ranked really high because they've played the most difficult schedule and they're really good. So it's going to be hard for us to beat them, which is why teams don't really move that much. But um, it's incredible. Florida, Duke, and Houston are the three teams that have top 10 offensive and defensive efficiency. Auburn should be, they'll probably get up there, but the last couple of games, remember, they gave up 90 points to us and then 85 to Auburn. So they probably dropped a little bit. But they have the number one offense and the number 14 defense, Auburn. Now, how do you get a top five offense in basketball? Well, you score when you have possession of the ball. How do you do that? You can shoot a three. Can you make threes? If you miss your three, can you get an offensive rebound and put it back in? Florida is one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the nation. So it's like when we get the ball, we're going to score. Why? We're going to either drive it with one of our guards, get a high percentage shot at the rim. It's either going to go in. If we miss it, we're going to rebound it. If we miss it, don't get a rebound, you fouled us. So now we're probably going to shoot free throws. We miss it, we get a rebound, we kick it out. Aberdeen's hitting a three-pointer. So it's very difficult to stop this team from scoring when they have possession of the basketball. Um, that is why we're so good on offensive uh, efficiency. We're good on defensive efficiency because our guards are defending the three-pointer a lot better than they did last year. And we're blocking shots and protecting the paint and we're rebounding. Todd Golden is an analytical guy, but you can see the analytics manifest itself in the way he designs the roster and calls sets on the court. Much more so than Billy Napier. so so like Golden says, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a hand in your face when you shoot a three, and when you drive to the rim to get an easy shot, we're gonna be standing right there to block you. So we make scoring when you have the ball very difficult. And when we get the ball, we're going to score, which is why when you look at the point differential, we are beating teams on average by double digits. So analytically, we're really, really good. Injuries. So injury update. You talked about hand locked in. So injuries in basketball can be kind of a blessing a little bit in that if you have some depth, it allows other players to step in and get some experience. So against Tennessee, Walter Clayton Jr. rolled his ankle. It was a low grade 1 ankle sprain. He was out a week. What did that do? Denzel Aberdeen has been low key hooping out here. Okay. He's all gas, no brakes. So this guy can drive, get his shot off at the rim, hit you with a floater, get a 3-pointer. He's also a really good defensive player on the perimeter. Aberdeen is exceptional. Him getting more action has meant more higher scoring, faster paced game. He gets out in transition. Urban Klavjar, he's been able to play more. When he's wide open and shooting a three, that thing is like 90% going in. So we've allowed our guards to play a little bit more with Clayton. Now that Clayton's back, uh, Elijah Martin got hurt in the Vanderbilt game with a hip, so he's been out a couple games. He came back last night. Um, Martin, him being out again, Aberdeen and Klavjar have been able to play. The recent injury to Condon, I was like, oh my God, we cannot. Condon is indispensable. Like you cannot lose Condon and then continue to have this expectation that you're a national championship team because he's too valuable of a player from an offensive rebounding, defense at the rim. He's our best post player. You throw him the ball at the block, he can score on anyone. He gives you like if you think of like the world in 3 dimensions, for so many years it was always 2D for a lot of people. Then we went to 3D. Then it's like, oh wow, 3D. Like this is crazy. That's Condon. He gives you like 3-dimensional scoring. Perimeter, penetration, post. If you take him out and you don't have post, there will be a game where a team can shut down your penetration and 3-point shooting, and you need to be able to go to the post to score crucial points. And if you don't have that, you're probably not going to win. So he's very important from that standpoint. Thank goodness it was a low grade, I think it was grade 1 ankle sprain is what they're saying. So that's a 1 to 2 week situation. Get him ice, raise, heal. Hopefully he can be back on March 1st when we play Texas A&M because we're gonna need him in that game.
Yeah.
So to long story short, I think the goal for this Gator team is let me give you this stat that I just looked up. Aberdeen. This is like one of my new favorite players.
I'm looking at his stat line. It's insane.
Aberdeen. Denzel. His first name's Denzel. It's perfect. King Kong ain't got nothing on him. Let me tell you something. When he makes a 3-pointer, 18-0 is the record. So when you see him shoot and it goes in from 3, we're not losing. The 3 games that we lost this year, 0 for 2, 0 for 2, 0 for 3, threes. He was 0 for 7. So we lost all those games. When Aberdeen is shooting threes, game over. Thomas Houck, let me tell y'all something. I know some people be like, he's not LeBron. When you look at this guy, what is the effect of LeBron on the team? He's 6'9", he can shoot, he rebounds, he passes, he assists, he blocks shots, he leads the break. Now, Houck is not a scorer like LeBron. LeBron can score from everywhere. Houck is just now developing his open shot where he's actually making threes and he's shooting extremely well free throws. But he does everything else that LeBron would do except the scoring part, which is He blocks. He can defend all 5 positions on the court. He's one of the best passers in the nation for somebody that's 6'9". He's probably the best rebounder on the team. This guy's incredible when he's out there. If he can learn how to score, like drive it, points in the paint, which he scored 20 points last night, but if he can pull up and shoot a little floater or do whatever, this guy's unstoppable. He's like NBA level. This guy's incredible. So he's playing really great. Hand Lockton coming back is huge. Hand Lockton is another player that is not a scorer like Condon. So you can't really throw it to him in the block and he'll post up and get like post up in the paint moves on you. But he is a guy that does everything. He's your best. He's one of your best rebounders. He blocks, like last night. He only scored 2 points, but he had like 2 blocks, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 5 assists. Like this guy does that. So you have him out there. You have other people. This team has a chance to win the whole thing. So here's the deal. The SEC regular season, in my opinion, is something that should be our goal to win. You can win the SEC regular season title. Now, Auburn won against Alabama yesterday. There was number 1 versus number 2. So now they're still 2 games in front of us. But Auburn still has at Kentucky, at Texas A&M. We got to cross our fingers, and they still have 1 game with Alabama. So if they can lose 2 of those 3 and we win out, we would win the SEC regular season because we'd have the same record and we won the head-to-head with them. So we still have a chance to win the SEC regular season title, which would be huge this year because this is the best year analytically for any conference ever. They're saying that there's 3 number 1 seeds right now. They're saying that we're a number 1 seed. We got to hold on to that number 1 seed. We cannot lose. Well, we got to play at Alabama. Maybe we'll lose that one. Texas A&M, they're a top 5 level team, but they play in Gainesville. Hopefully we'll be healthy by then.
So I'm saying if we can stay healthy, bro, I think we'll be okay.
We got to stay healthy. So long story short, but the injuries have helped because now it's like, this is what it's like. I was given this analogy to, I don't know, some guy at the gym. Listen, let's say your right hand, you break your right hand. You're right-handed. You write with your right hand. Well, now I got to use my left hand. And let's say you learn how to do stuff with your left hand. Well, by the time your right hand's healed, guess what's happened to you? Now you're like an octopus. You can use both hands. With this basketball situation, one guy goes down, another guy steps in and is able to get experience. You learn how to win without this other guy. When he comes back, now there's multiple different ways that you can attack and win games. So the injuries have been kind of a blessing in disguise. And I really think this team has a chance to go all the way. Now, here's the deal. There are some people that bet Florida to win the championship way back in the day. You could probably win $60,000. Now you can only win $600. So put your money on Florida now before we keep moving up. Because guess what? Duke, we're coming. People are, Duke is going to win the national championship. Maybe they will. Who knows? But we were going to play them. I hope we play them. If we play them, I like our chances.
I love it, man. Look at that confidence, EJ. Yes, sir. I think that, like you said, the key is staying healthy, and I'm glad that we're getting hurt now instead of being deep into these tournaments and then being screwed. Because like you said, you can really discover, okay, without this guy can fit this role. Without this guy, these plays work better. And like you said, you could just do so many. You could rest the players so there's less chance for injury, right? You're not exhausting them they're not playing every single minute out there. Um, and yeah, overall, just makes your team more versatile. And if something's not working against a team, like I bet we got y'all. This is we got a little secret weapon here that's healthy again. So yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be really interesting, and I really like you said, our chances on winning out. They said the Bama game, that one's gonna probably be the toughest one. That's gonna be left. We end the season off with Ole Miss, the game I might be trying to go to, which would be fun.
Yes.
But so that they're once again, it's just a ranked team after ranked team, man. I mean, if you go through the rest of our schedule, EJ, real quick, let me see real quick. I don't have it pulled up. Um,
Well, I think I know it off the top of my head. So
oh, there you go. I love it.
we our next game is Oklahoma. We call them Choklahoma because they just choked last night. They were up by 15, end up losing at the last second to LSU, who's not even that good. Now, Oklahoma is better than South Carolina. So it's a good time to have these injuries because you can ease Handlocked in where he's not playing a really dominant team. He's like he's easing his way in.
Right.
Oklahoma is a little bit better than South Carolina because they're a little bit better on the offensive end. But if we can get rolling, that's a game we should win.
Okay.
We go to LSU, who just beat Oklahoma. LSU's only won 2 games in the conference because the SEC is incredible, but LSU is still a pretty good little team. And when we go on the road, who knows? Then the last 4 are all and they call in college basketball quad 1. We play at Georgia with our former coach, Mike White. Now, why is that a quad 1 game? Because in the net rankings, if you play a road game against somebody in the top 75 and Georgia's like 35, then that's a quadrant 1 game. Now, when we played Georgia in Gainesville, we beat them by 30. But guess what? We beat Tennessee by 30. Then we go up there and we act like we never played basketball before.
Are we undefeated against Mike White?
We are, yeah, I think we're 6-0.
Yeah.
We're 6-0.
Let's keep it going.
Which is crazy. The issue with Mike White is he would recruit great athletes and that would naturally be good defenders, but they weren't great offensive players. And so he would have to coach them to play offense, and we would go on these scoring droughts. And Todd Golden is not that. Todd Golden goes for guys who can score first, and then he'll coach them defense. So it's a little bit of a different approach. So hopefully we can just outscore Georgia when we play them. We'll see what happens. Then we play Texas A&M. Texas A&M is they're a really good team. They're one of those teams that they win all the intangibles. They're kind of like Notre Dame in football. They win all the intangibles. They rebound. They block shots. They steal the ball. They do all these crazy things, and they end up with more points than you. They ugly up the game. So we're probably going to need Condon in that one. Then we play at Alabama. Now, here's the thing. Everyone's going to say, Alabama's going to win. Last year when we played Alabama, we should have beat them all 3 times. The first time we played them in Tuscaloosa, with their style of play, it did not match up with us very well. The referees called everything a foul on us, and they ended up barely beating us by like 4 or 5 points. But then when we played them in Gainesville and in the SEC tournament, we beat them by 20 because the matchups, our style of play was too imposing for them. So I like our chances to go and potentially win that game, which would be huge. Then we come and we play that game against Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a good defensive team. They have a couple of good guards. Matt Morrell is a guy that you got to watch out for. But I feel like at home, if you're there, we're undefeated when you actually turn the game on. We'll probably win.
There you go.
And we have to be, here's the other thing. We absolutely, positively, 100% have to be one of the top 4 seeds in the SEC tournament. How the conference tournament will work this year is the top 4 teams will get a double bye, kind of like the top 4 in the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
So we will get the top 4 in the SEC tournament will get a double bye, so you don't have to play until Friday. If you're 5 through 8, you get a bye, so you play on Thursday. If you're 9 through 16, you play on Wednesday. So here's the deal: the SEC has so many good teams, and even the teams that are at the bottom have beaten everybody outside the SEC, so they're still really good teams. You cannot win the SEC tournament playing 5 games in 5 days. You're going to get beat up, injured, because you play 5 games in 5 days. You only want to do 3 games in 3 days because you want to stay healthy for the NCAA tournament. Because if you're playing 5 games in 5 days against these teams, you're going to have sore ribs. Your legs are going to be tired. Your knees are going to be worn out. So you have to be one of the top 4. Right now, we're, I think, tied for 3rd in the SEC standings. Have to keep winning.
Okay. So do you think so we really can't afford to lose one then if we want to get those 2 buys?
Not the way. Well, Auburn they're cruising right now because they're 11-1.
Right.
We are 9-3. So tied with Texas A&M. So if the season ended right now, we would be in the top 4. But the way it's going is you got teams with 4 losses, some teams with 5 losses.
Mm-hmm.
If we lose one, then it just depends on what happens with these other teams.
Control. Yeah. So just
last year,
yeah, you're right.
Yes, and last year, so here's a perfect example. Last year, the last game of the year was at Vanderbilt, and I was thinking, okay, we want to finish in that top 4. We had a chance to finish in the top 4, but when we lost that one game at Vanderbilt, we dropped from 4 to 6 in the standings, and then had to play on Thursday. So one game can make a difference. If we win out, we play Texas A&M. So we beat them, we knock them back. We also play Alabama, who's right in front of us. We can beat them, maybe we knock them back. We just have to win, baby. And let me tell you something. We're setting records. We beat 2 number 1 ranked teams. I was hoping Alabama would win so that they would go to number 1, and then when we go play them, we can beat 3 number 1 teams. But they lost. So now we can't do that. But anyway, if we win out, we're going to be number 1, potentially, most likely number 2. We'll be a number 1 seed. You want to be a number 1 seed. Number 1 seeds, the higher your seed, the higher the probability you advance. That's just the bottom line. They're saying that we're going to be in the West. I love the West. I'm out here in the West. Where are they going to go? San Diego? Probably not. Maybe LA. We'll be there. Oh, maybe San Francisco. Hey, Logan, you ever been to San Francisco?
Never been to San Fran.
Come on out. The Golden State Warriors play out here. We play like the Warriors.
I love it.
Playing junior. He's like Steph Curry out there. So listen, keep winning. Maybe we're a basketball school now. Who knows? Todd Golden. That's the other thing. People are saying, we want Todd Golden to be our coach. No. First of all, y'all can't be stealing our coach because guess what? Y'all were all saying that he was something that he wasn't when the investigation was happening. We all stuck beside him. Okay? So he's going to stay here. He's probably earned a contract extension. Strickland's, what are you doing? Get the guy a contract extension. Get the guy a contract. Extend. It's an easy word. Extend. I love this guy. He's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. We just want to stay in control of our destiny, right? And the only way to do that is to win out. If you don't, I think the key though, EJ, is you got to beat Texas A&M. I think that's one of the key games there. Same thing with Alabama. Sure. We might be able to afford to drop another game, like just maybe one more, but you have to win against Texas A&M and Bama to stay up there. But yeah, goal is to win out, stay healthy, do our thing. Really proud of this basketball team, killing it, man. What we love to see. Yeah, EJ, any last things you wanna talk about?
We be hooping,
Yes,
man. We
sir.
be hooping, and then next year we're gonna be in the San Diego Thanksgiving tournament. So we're gonna do Thanksgiving out here. Hey, you should come.
Yeah, dude.
Thanksgiving in San Diego. I think we're playing Kansas. Kansas is a big name team. So that was confirmed a few weeks ago. Um, the Gators, the Gator Bar here in funny story, everybody. So the Alabama bar here in San Diego was incredible. When I went, it was like, wow, this is like luxury. They had two huge TV screens. The bar went out of business. So now the Alabama people are kicking us out of our bar and they're
What?
taking the Gator bar. Yeah.
What?
So we're like, what the hell? Now, as it goes, like the teams that are really good typically have more fans, right? So that's why the Gators, we haven't really, been great. So we don't really bring as many fans. We bring a lot of people, but they're bringing like 100 people. We're probably bringing like 40.
Right. Dang,
So
man.
So now we've got to find a new bar. So we'll see what happens. We love our Gator bar, but
They went out of business. The
yeah,
last
I'm just
place.
like,
So you're
how
gonna
did...
you're gonna bring that negativity to the greatest bar out there, dude? Insane, man. I hope they lose now.
And that's the thing. Like they weren't even good that well. They were, yeah. I feel like if we played Alabama, we probably could have beat them. Don't you think?
Oh, football? Is that what we're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Milrow would not have been able to do really much. I don't know. We were not great against rushing quarterbacks, but I think we could have won. I do. I think we could have had it. If Oklahoma can hold them to 3 points, I would say that we could beat Bama. No question.